Evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Whitney Ward. Mark is off tonight. Well, after months of being on leave and under investigation, the University of Idaho volleyball head coach resigned today. He was under investigation for allegations of abuse against those U of I volleyball players. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez heard back from the university today about what this means for that investigation. She also has reaction now from one of the players.
After months of the unknown, one thing is for sure now. Chris Gonzalez is no longer the University of Idaho women's volleyball coach.
So just relief, like finally this is happening.
Finally, after Emma Peterson and the rest of the team went through months of investigations and waiting.
All of the work that we'd done and put in, all of the meetings that we had and the evidence that we gathered and the interviews with the law firms for the investigation all finally came together.
The university finished one of two investigations earlier this month. Those findings haven't been released to the public, but Emma says the findings were clear.
From the report, we found that there is sufficient evidence that Gonzalez is responsible for discrimination based on national origin, sufficient evidence that Gonzalez is responsible for sex-based harassment, sufficient evidence that Gonzalez is responsible for retaliation and multiple counts of retaliation.
She said the report made it clear he violated several university policies.
So it was very validating to see that.
But that validation also comes with some frustration.
I think the duration of this whole thing alone speaks heavily on the things that went wrong.
In the last few months, KREM 2 has repeatedly asked the university its stance on these allegations. But now, since Gonzalez resigned, the university says it will not finish the other investigation.
We're all incredibly disappointed that the climate and culture investigation is over and shut down because there was so much more.
The university said in a statement today, quote, "With this resolution, we look forward to the volleyball program rebuilding an environment in which our student athletes can be comfortable and succeed both on the court and off," end quote. As Emma looks forward to her next season, she's hopeful for the same.
I am just really hopeful that everyone who hasn't had the chance to experience what college athletics should be really starts to feel everything that they should and get the environment that they should and kind of be able to grow past this.
In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
Also, just into our newsroom, the Spokane County prosecutor says they will not pursue criminal charges for 3 Spokane County sheriff's detectives involved in a standoff with Spokane's South Hill last year. Now, it was last April that those deputies were watching 49-year-old Jeremy Bausch, who had warrants for assault and robbery. When deputies confronted him, they said they found themselves in a shootout, and that led to an overnight standoff, prompting an emergency alert, asking people living nearby to shelter in place. They then used a taser and took the suspect into custody. The prosecutor said detectives Kyle Leavenworth, Nathan Booth, and Alex Valigny were justified in using force. Jurors heard from the family of Chad Daybell's victims before they started deliberating about whether he should get the death penalty or life in prison. These same jurors found Daybell guilty on 9 counts of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and insurance fraud just yesterday. 9 people gave impact statements today where they explained how the murders changed their lives. As they talked, people in the gallery were crying. Here's some testimony from JJ and Tylee's older brother. The court moved the camera, though, so you cannot see him.
Sit with my little sister and talk and share our lives. So in short, I lost everything I've ever known.
Daybell said he did not want to speak on his own behalf. His defense attorney didn't call any witnesses to present evidence about why Daybell should not get the death penalty. And according to the Transportation Security Administration, travel levels are reaching, and in some cases even surpassing, pre-pandemic levels. But this year, lawmakers passed new protections should you find yourself stranded en route to your destination. President Joe Biden signed the FAA reauthorization bill, aiming to improve safety in the industry, while at the same time offering new protections for ticketed passengers. Washington Senator Maria Cantwell was one of the lawmakers who championed this bipartisan effort. And among the new protections, airlines must now offer hassle-free refunds if a domestic flight is delayed more than 3 hours. Airlines cannot charge fees for families to sit together, and they must improve communication with customers with travel plans when they go south.
I think airlines are just going to have to realize that consumers, you can't just capture them forever with bad policy. Consumers have some rights here.
Cantwell says much of the inspiration for the new protections came from the widespread airline delays over the holidays in late 2022. All right, taking a quick break now from the headlines, we want to talk weather and warmer weather and sunshine dominating the forecast as we head into the weekend. So let's check our Chief Meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo, to see if that sunshine's going to last for the whole weekend.
It's on and off.
Okay.
It's one of those ones where people always ask me, do you look at the clouds and know what's coming? Yeah. Like if you're just staring at weather all day, every day, and when you're bored, you're just kind of looking off into space, you tend to notice a few things. You ready for this? This right here is a couple of different clouds. The clouds on top, way up in the air, that kind of filter that sunshine, the ones that look like a thin little layer, those are clouds that would come ahead of a shift in our weather pattern. That shift is going to bring about a little more cloud cover Saturday and then eventually our next storm Sunday and Monday. 72 tomorrow, 64 on Sunday because of those clouds building in, the moisture arriving, 63 on Monday, but we turn a corner quickly thereafter. All right, here's some of that cloud cover filtering in. We zoom out, you can see where it's coming from. See that low all the way up in Canada and our frontal boundary right, why is it a black line? Our frontal boundary right there, that sets the stage for our next little round of cloud cover that takes us into the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. Now to a traffic alert for you. Take a look. This is what it looked like on Spokane's South Hill this afternoon. Well, you can see on the other side there, all that traffic, lots of delays and backups. This is part of the ongoing construction project in and around 29th Avenue on the South Hill, leading to lengthy delays. Look at all those cars. Crews turned off stoplights. They were trying to direct traffic, hoping to help. But if you can avoid that area, I would do it. Well, tomorrow is the official start of Pride Month, and to kick off the month in the Inland Northwest, we go to Coeur d'Alene's Pride in the Park starting tomorrow. KREM 2's Nathan Hyun spoke with the event organizers to let us know what you can expect this year.
Preparations are underway for Coeur d'Alene Pride in the Park. I'm at Coeur d'Alene City Park where the celebrations will take place, and the organizer tells me this year will be the biggest one yet.
It's one of Sarah Lynch's favorite events of the year.
It's just a good time to come out and celebrate inclusivity.
Lynch is executive director for the North Idaho Pride Alliance, the organization putting on Pride in the Park.
Visibility in general is hugely important. This particular event showcases that visibility for this entire community.
The event is returning for its 8th year. More than 70 booths of local vendors and businesses are expected to take over the park, the most ever in the event's history.
This event is an opportunity to just create a welcoming space for people to feel safe.
Sam Kester is a board member for the North Idaho Pride Alliance. Kester can't wait to see more than 2,500 people turn out to tomorrow's event.
I'm looking forward to just seeing everyone's smiles on their faces and people having a good time.
There will also be a variety of performances taking place at the bandshell in the park. Lynch says Pride in the Park means more than just a one-time celebration.
I hope that folks who come out can, take away a sense of support if they feel isolated in North Idaho.
Safety is a big priority for the event.
We learned a lot over the last couple of years and definitely established some solid relationships with public safety officials, and we're real lucky.
Coeur d'Alene Police Captain Dave Hager says that he expects the event to be safe and there will be extra officers on hand.
Coeur d'Alene Pride in the Park is for one day only. Celebrations will take place from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. tomorrow at the City Park and Bandshell. In Coeur d'Alene, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.